Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Natasha. Today I'm going to create for you a Caribbean chicken soup, and as you can see I have everything already prepared. I have about 2 cups of sweet potato. Also have 1 cup of potato. I have 2 cups of chopped pumpkin, 1 carrot chopped, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, a cup of chopped onions. I have what we call golden ray. Now this is it's a salted butter that we get from Trinidad. If you live in Florida, you're lucky enough to get it at Bravo supermarkets. If you don't have it, it's optional. That's okay. You can always use a piece of just ordinary salted butter. But as I said, butter is optional. I have a half a cup of chopped Chinese parsley. Now Chinese parsley is totally different to ordinary parsley or celery. It's actually very long. I had this one cut, so it's a very long parsley and it's very flavorful. I also have a tablespoon of chopped bandanya, as we call it. It's known as culantro, not cilantro. It's not the one that we put in guacamole. It looks like this. I have one teaspoon of complete seasoning. This is what it looks like in the bottle. 2 scallions chopped. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I know it's a lot, but you're not gonna taste it, and if you think it's too much for you, you can always just use 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of ketchup, and I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of goya adobo all-purpose seasoning, and we have salt and pepper to taste. So let's get started. To make chicken soup, you need chicken. So seasoning time. I'm going to add my garlic. I'm going to try not to let my hands block anything. Onions. Chopped celery. I'm forgetting. We have the bandanya or cilantro, as we call it here in Florida. Now, it's a Mexican, it's also a very popular Mexican ingredient, so you can find it at any Mexican supermarkets if you have close by. Chopped scallions. Let me put the complete seasoning. I'm going to eyeball this, which is the all-purpose seasoning. As I said, 1 teaspoon. Black pepper, if you like fresh crushed black pepper, you can use that. I pre-crushed mine. And salt to taste. And you add your ketchup. So while I'm mixing this, you want to put your pot to heat up. You want to put it on medium high. Let's do 6.5. And you're going to mix your chicken until all the seasonings have incorporated throughout. While the pot is coming up to temperature, I want to show you what the golden ray looks like if you were to purchase it in the supermarket. It's just golden ray. It comes from Trinidad. It's very flavorful and it's optional because I know a lot of you will not be able to get your hands on this. The other thing I like to use when I make my chicken soup is I put a pack of Maggie Soup It Up Jamaican cock soup mix with pumpkin, or you can use the Maggie chicken flavored pasta soup mix. So together with this, I like to put dumplings in my I like to put dumplings in my soup. It makes it more hearty and it fills you faster. A cup of flour. I will add 1 teaspoon of salt, and I have half a cup of just ordinary pipe water, and that will be kneading that to create a firm, stiff dough that we will use to make our dumplings. So now my pot is feeling warm. You're going to add the sugar into the pot. You do not need any oil or butter or anything. Just add the sugar into the pot. And I want to raise my temperature a little bit. Now, when you put sugar into a pot, the one thing you do not want to do is leave it and walk away. It's going to burn before you even realize it. So always stay by the pot. Have your spoon handy, because as this melts, you're going to want to stir it so it doesn't start to burn in certain places. You want it to remain consistent throughout. So while this starts to melt, I will come back. So as you can see, the sugar has started to melt. As I told you, I didn't put any oil. You do not need oil. Now the reason why I'm using sugar is because in Trinidad we call this a chunky soup. It's when you use sugar and you throw in your vegetables and your meat and you call it chunky. Now if you don't want to do this method, you can skip it. You can add a little bit of oil to your pots. I'm going to lower the heat because it's starting to get the color that I like, and I don't want it to burn. You want it to get a very nice golden brown color without burning. So that's a very nice color I have there. I add my chicken with the rest of seasonings. What you want to do is, you don't want this seasoning to waste. So you're going to add some water to wash this out and leave it in this bowl. And I'll show you what to do with it later on. So I added the water to save that seasoning that remained inside of the bowl. And I'm setting that aside to use later. At this point, you turn the chicken and you would see that it's getting a very nice golden brown color. I'm going to let this continue for another probably 2 to 3 minutes before we add the rest of ingredients to our soup. So our chicken has gotten a nice color. Now we're going to add the rest of vegetables. I have the sweet potato or Japanese yam. I love this. You can use the orange sweet potato if you like, but I prefer the white Japanese yam. Potatoes, pumpkin, carrots up, and you're gonna let it just cook for a minute or two. Okay, now you want to add that reserved liquid that I had you put with the seasonings. You're gonna add it to the pot. Now this needs a little more liquid, so I'm just going to add some more. You want to try and cover everything so that it cooks evenly. Now, while this is coming up to a boil, I am going to prepare the dumplings. The dumplings, it's very easy to prepare. All we're going to do is knead the flour with some water. And to do that, make sure and mix it properly because we added the salt in here. So I'm going to finish knead this, let it come together, and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. So I finished knead the flour. As you can see, it's nice and it's it's firm. As I said, you don't want it to be soft. This is how I make my dumplings. First, I take a pinch. I'm trying to show you so you can see. You pinch a piece of the flour off, and then you put it in your hands and you roll it. When you roll it, you get this. And this is how we make our dumplings in Trinidad for our soup. And then you just drop it into the water. I am rambling on today. You drop them into the water. You just continue to do this until you're done, and I'll see you back in a bit. Okay, so my soup is coming up to the bubble, and I'm going to add in my pack soup, which is going to give it some additional flavor. Now this is a very small pot of soup. I just put in all my dumplings as I was doing last. It's all in there, as you can see. I love dumplings and soup. Makes it very hearty. And because, as I said, it's a small pot of soup, I'm going to add half of my pack soup. This is what it looks like. It has very small pieces of pasta, like angel hair pasta in there. So it's probably about this much. So that's half of it. And that's going to flavor the soup and give it a nice taste. So all we're going to do now, you're going to leave this. You're going to bring it up to a boil. You're going to drop the heat for it to simmer. Allow all the flavors to combine. Let the vegetables get soft. And then we'll finish it off with our golden ray. That's right over there. I'll see you back in a little bit. So my soup is almost done. And to finish it, we're going to add the golden ray, which I told you comes from Trinidad. You can get it if you live in Florida at Bravo supermarkets. You add that to the soup and you allow it to melt. So my soup is finished. The butter has melted. I'm going to take it off and I'm going to plate it so you guys can see. And here you have it. This is a Caribbean chicken soup from Trinidad. It's a chunked chicken soup. And I hope you guys enjoy today's dish. And thank you for spending this time with me and getting to make another one of the dishes that we make back in Trinidad. And if there are anything that you guys would like me to make, please feel free to leave it in your comments below. I will put the description for the soup in the description box, and I will see you guys on another day to make another dish. Thank you. Bye bye.